up, everybody? This is Chad and John from Unspoken.
This is Mac Powell from Third Day.
This is Nick from the band Salvador.
Hey, this is Natalie Grant.
Hey, I'm Mark Schultz. Tell all your friends about Al Kim, the guy sitting right in front of me.
And you're listening to Life-Changing Radio, WSDK 1550.
Bloomfield, Hartford.
Joining us on the Rise and Shine hotline right now is Zach Janowski from Yankee Institute in Connecticut here. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Al. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate you calling in today. It's been a while, and I guess it's time to kind of get updated what's going on at the state capitol. We've got all kinds of wacky stuff, including, of course, the looks like the Magic Busway is still slowly but surely moving forward, unfortunately. The big deal, of course, is the possible return of toll booths. What else is going on in our funny little state?
Well, there is a lot going on. One interesting tidbit that we had talked about before, that Connecticut is the fourth most liberal state in the country, according to a recent Gallup poll.
So how do you measure that? How did that come about?
Well, there's a few different ways of measuring it. Depending on how you slice and dice it, you can get different numbers. But based on the number of liberals in the state, it's the fourth most liberal. So we have the fourth largest population of people who will tell a pollster that they are liberal.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so we have about 30%, just a little bit under 30%. And surprisingly, only two states in the whole country have more liberals than conservatives, and Connecticut is not one of those two. It's only Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Okay.
But even though we have a few more conservatives than liberals in Connecticut, in most places in the country, the average is 2 to 1. There's 3 to 2. So there's two liberals for every 3 conservatives.
Gotcha.
So it's very far below the national average.
And Gallup is a very respected poll. They always get a big sample size, and they've been doing this for many years as a nonprofit. So, their data is pretty reliable.
Exactly. They're the gold standard in this field.
Right. And so isn't there some correlation between people who call themselves liberal politically and our state budget, our state economy?
Well, it's funny. We were looking at the states that were the most liberal and the most conservative, and the 10 most conservative states have unemployment considerably below the 10 most liberal states. And so that, it's not a scientific study by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just something that jumped out at us when we took a look at it.
Right. So there's a correlation anyway between the number of liberals and high unemployment rates.
It seems to be.
Well, all right. I'll draw those two dots together slightly then. So tell us what else is going on that we should be aware of in the greater Hartford. Well, first of all, Yankee Institute is a think tank. Is that how you could describe you guys?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yankee Institute is Connecticut's free market think tank, and I'm their investigative reporter.
Excellent.
So I uncover government waste, fraud, and abuse in Connecticut.
Oh, gee, do we have any in Connecticut?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have a pretty much guaranteed employment for as long as I want it. That's the sad thing.
Sad.
Recently we've turned up state employees who got paid 28 hours for work in a single day.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
I didn't realize. Sometimes I wish I had 28 hours in my work day, but...
Right, well, and to get paid for all of them, too.
Yeah. What is that? What happened there?
Well, so there was a Department of Public Health employee who... Apparently, the way that the department does it, they pay you for being on call even when you're at work.
Right.
So this person was able to essentially double bill for some of their hours.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's I tell people, it's funny, only in Hartford would that make sense to someone.
Right.
You can tell you've been in Hartford for too long when that makes sense.
Yeah, not too many people blanch at that odd overpayment there.
Right, exactly. Wow. And whereas anywhere in the rest of the state, you go to a cocktail party, you're having dinner with your friends, and you just say, listen, this is what I found, and everyone's just outraged.
Exactly, right.
But some lawyer thought that it made sense.
Mm-hmm. So I'm originally from hard-hitting New Britain. That's my hometown. And a couple of weeks ago, I was driving through, and I saw one of the new bus stations that's going to be built there for the Magic Bus line, which is now being built, and they're pouring concrete. And I looked at it, and it's occupying a pretty big footprint in downtown New Britain. And the first thought that came to my mind was, who's going to ride this? Who's going to hoof it all the way out there just to hop a bus to go to Hartford when I could probably zip there in my own car? Yes, I'm going to hit traffic, but I could still get there in maybe 20 minutes. I don't know.
Right. It is hard to understand. I actually have a story that I'm about to post this morning about the new subsidies for the busway. Now, we've talked a lot about the massive construction costs for the busway, but the state is going to be subsidizing each ride by about $3.
Oh.
So, and when ticket prices are going to be somewhere between $2 and $5, that means the subsidy is, roughly the cost of the ticket.
Right.
So the rider is only paying half the cost. And it's interesting because, some of these new programs, the New Britain Hartford Busway, the Springfield to New Haven rail line, Shoreline East, they're getting increased state money, while Metro North, which is the most ridden railroad in the country, is getting less money from the state. They're cutting back state funding for it in favor of these new programs, and and like you say, it's hard to see how anywhere near the number of people who ride Metro North are going to be riding the bus from New Britain to Hartford.
That, and if you have all this money, which is just a lot of fat and pork, if you will, where could be better spent repairing our own bridges and roads, which we all drive over all the time and know that they are aged and are a little in need of repair, and that's kind of where the money's supposed to go. And then to think about, how can we raise more money? I know, let's bring toll booths back.
Right. Well, toll booths, in theory, they could work in a certain sense. But the problem with toll booths is that, you have to trust the legislature. And, that's not something I have a lot of, confidence in.
So when all that money comes in, that it's going to go right back to bridges and roads. And
there are people who think that, we spend half the state budget on bridges and roads. And if that were only the case, we would have we wouldn't have to worry about traffic or anything.
Right. And I've heard, too, folks who travel through Connecticut, like truckers, they really dislike going through Connecticut primarily because of the high gas prices, and then to slap them with tolls to slow them down. I don't see a lot of that being helpful.
Yeah, so we'll see how it pans out. I mean, tolls have been something people have been fantasizing about in Hartford for a long time.
Right.
I don't see it as a top priority, but we'll see.
If you're joining us right now, we're speaking with Zach Janowski from Yankee Institute. Zach, if people want to get that story that you're releasing today or any more on these stories, where can they go?
RaisingHale.com.
Excellent. All right. Well, Zach, we'll be in touch periodically here, and if you have any other interesting stories that you're going to break, you let us know. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
With quality Christian programming 24 hours a day, we're life-changing radio, 1550 AM, WSDK Bloomfield, Hartford.